If you are yet to subscribe to this channel, please do so now. God bless you. Part 2. 1 Business 8 Wealth Building Assets. 8 Reasons Network Marketing Can Secure Your Future. Chapter 7. My Years in the Business. I need to start here with full disclosure. I've never really been in the business of network marketing. I am not a distributor for or owner of a network marketing company, have no financial interests in any network marketing company, and do not promote any one specific company. But I have been very much in the business for years as a champion and advocate of the network marketing business as a whole, and in this chapter I want to tell you why. I first encountered network marketing in 1975, when a friend invited me to a presentation on a new business opportunity. Since I make it a habit to investigate business and investment opportunities, I agreed to go, although I thought it was a little strange that the business meeting was at a private home rather than in an office. I listened for 3 hours while he talked about the value of building your own business instead of working at a job. I agreed with most of the points he made. At the end of the evening, the friend asked me what I thought about what I'd heard. "It's interesting," I replied, "but it's not for me. I was already thoroughly involved in the process of building a business. Why would I need to build a business with other people? And besides, it was network marketing." I really had no idea what that meant, but I thought I knew what it meant, and I was sure it held no value for me. Soon after my first network marketing meeting, the sports wallet business that I had started with 2 friends boomed. My 2 years of hard work started paying off. Success, fame, and fortune seemed to pour down upon my 2 partners and me. We had pledged we would all be millionaires by the age of 30, and through our hard work and sacrifice, we had reached our goal. And this was the 1970s, when $1 million was actually worth something. Our company and products were written up in such magazines as Surfer, Runner's World, and Gentleman's Quarterly. We were the hot new thing in the sporting goods world, and business poured in from all over the globe. I was an all-out success. I never gave network marketing another thought, at least, not for the next decade. The opening of a mind. Over the years that followed, my mind began to open up. That incredibly successful business failed a few years after it started. It was a humbling experience, and a very positive one, because it caused me to look closer at the world around me and to ask questions. More of what my rich dad had taught me began to sink in, and my perspective grew. It was not long before I had built another successful business, and then another, and unlike that first business, these lasted. During those years, I also became powerfully drawn to the idea of not only becoming rich myself, but also finding ways to help others become rich. I came to realize that while personal success is fulfilling, it's much more fulfilling when you can help many others create their own success as well. For the next 15 years, I kept hearing negative things about network marketing, mostly from people I knew. Eventually, I decided to check it out for myself. In the early 1990s, I ran into a friend named Bill who was a retired multimillionaire. We got talking, and lo and behold, Bill told me that he was involved in building a network marketing business. Bill is a very sharp, very savvy guy. I knew he had just completed commercial real estate projects worth over $1 billion. I asked him why on earth he was involved in network marketing. For years, he told me, people have asked me for real estate investment tips. They want to know if they can invest with me. But they can't, because most don't have the $50,000 or $100,000 it takes to get into my level of real estate investments. In fact, many of them have absolutely no money at all. Some are 2 paychecks away from bankruptcy. So they look for these cheap, no money down deals that are often very bad investments. In network marketing, I can actually help people make the kind of money they need to do some serious investing. The more people I help do that, the more investors I have. Besides, he added, I really love working with people who are hungry to learn and grow. It's a drag working with people who think they already know it all, which is what often ends up happening in my real estate deals. The people I work with in network marketing are genuinely excited about new ideas. After a few more minutes of conversation, I had to make a dash for the airport, but over the next few months, we continued our dialogue, and as we did, my respect for network marketing and what it represented grew. I came to realize that while personal success is fulfilling, it's much more fulfilling when you can help many others create their own success as well. In 1994, I started researching the industry in earnest. I went to every presentation I heard about and listened closely to everything I heard. I studied the literature of company after company, looked at their track records, and examined them closely, the way I would do my due diligence on any business venture I was considering investing in. I even joined a few companies, if I liked what I saw, just so I could learn more about them and see what the experience was like from the inside. Eventually, I began meeting some of these companies' leaders, and I was stunned to find that they were some of the most intelligent, kind, ethical, moral, spiritual, and professional people I had met in all my years of business. Once I got over my own prejudices and met people I respected and related to, I saw that I had found the heart of the industry, and I was amazed at what I had found. When I had first stumbled upon the concept in that first opportunity meeting in 1975, my mind had been closed tight to the idea. Now, some 20 years later, my view had completely changed. People sometimes ask me, why do you recommend network marketing to people as a way they can build wealth, when you did not become rich that way yourself? Actually, it is because I did not gain my fortune through network marketing that I can be a bit more objective about the industry. I came to appreciate this business as an outsider, and only after I had already built my own wealth and established my own financial freedom. All the same, if I had to do it all over again today and start from scratch, rather than building an old-style business, I would start out by building a network marketing business. So what exactly is network marketing? I said that I've never actually been involved in network marketing as a participant, but I know someone who has, and I invited him to join me in these pages to share some of his insights. My friend John Fleming started out in life as an architect. He once worked for the legendary Mies van der Rohe, and that's one of the reasons I admire his approach to network marketing. He brings that same passion for practical design and functional construction to this business. He's a man, in other words, who appreciates the value of building structures that last. John brings to these pages his nearly 40 years of experience in network marketing. He has owned and operated his own company and has held many different executive positions in others, including a 15-year tenure at one of the industry's largest and most well-respected companies as a regional vice president and then vice president of sales strategy, training, and development. He has also been actively involved in the industry's various trade groups. In 1997, the Direct Selling Education Foundation awarded John with its highest honor, their Circle of Honor Award. Today, John serves as publisher and editor-in-chief of Direct Selling News, a respected trade publication serving direct selling and network marketing executives. Robert, John, for those readers who may not already know, what exactly is network marketing, and what makes it tick? John, network marketing has been around in various forms since the middle of the last century. The basic idea is as simple as it is brilliant. Instead of spending tons of money on all sorts of professional agencies and marketing channels to promote products or services, why not pay the people who love them most to just tell others about them? That's exactly what a network marketing company does. They pay a portion of every sales dollar received back out to their field of independent representatives, who typically are also the product's most committed and enthusiastic consumers. Robert, let me play devil's advocate for a moment. How can that really work? I mean, can a bunch of ordinary people who are not skilled marketers really compete and generate any serious level of sales? John, actually, that's the beauty of it. As every marketing professional, Hollywood producer, and corporate giant knows, the single most powerful form of promotion in the world is personal word of mouth. That's why television commercials spend millions to hire actors to talk just like your mom, your spouse, your best friend, or your kids. They are imitating personal word of mouth. In network marketing, we use the real thing. The real power of the model what you talk about, Robert, as leverage is that as a representative, you aren't paid commissions only on products used by the people you refer to the company, but often on products bought by the people they refer, directly and indirectly, that can really add up. So, does it work? You know the answer to that one. Direct selling / network marketing today does well over $110 billion in annual sales globally, which makes it an economic bloc roughly the size of New Zealand, Pakistan, or the Philippines. I often describe this business model with both the terms direct selling and network marketing because today, most direct selling companies employ a network marketing focus. However, for the purposes of this book, I will just use network marketing in my references. One reason that the total sales from network marketing keeps growing is that it's a true win-win. The company gets an amazing level of market penetration and customer awareness that would be very tough and very expensive to get with traditional marketing. And the independent rep has the opportunity to create some very serious cash flow. How? By harnessing the power of word-of-mouth person-to-person relationships to build a substantial network that represents the company's line of products and/or services. Robert, you talk about a B quadrant business being one that has at least 500 employees. In network marketing, you don't hire employees. You sponsor individuals who are all independent representatives. But the same financial dynamic applies. By the time your network of independent representatives grows to be 300, 400, or 500 strong, you've got a serious organization that delivers significant residual income. What others say about network marketing? As John says, the model is powerful because it works, and we're not the only ones who say so, either. Tom Peters, the legendary management expert and author of the classic bestseller In Search of Excellence, describes network marketing as the first truly revolutionary shift in marketing since the advent of modern marketing at Procter & Gamble and Harvard Business School over 50 years ago. The emerging success of network marketing has been written about in such journals as Forbes, Fortune, Newsweek, Time, U.S. News and World Report, USA Today, The New York Times, and The Wall Street Journal. 15 years ago, you couldn't have gotten a single one of these journals to give this business the time of day. Now, look at what a recent issue of Fortune said about network marketing. An investor's dream, the best-kept secret of the business world, an industry with steady annual growth, healthy cash flows, high return on invested capital, and long-term prospects for global expansion. Warren Buffett and Richard Branson couldn't be more different. Buffett drives a pickup and lives in Omaha. Branson flies his own airline and lives on his own island in the British Virgin Islands. But they have three things in common. They are both billionaires. They are both extremely practical men. And they have both owned network marketing companies. Does that tell you something? Citigroup, Jockey, L'Oreal, Mars, Remington, and Unilever, guess what they all have in common? They've all put a toe in the network marketing water, in some cases, right up to their hips. Today, network marketing is recognized by many experts and accomplished business people as one of the fastest growing business models in the world. Today, network marketing is recognized by many experts and accomplished business people as one of the fastest growing business models in the world. The end of Chapter 7. If you are yet to subscribe to this channel, please do so now. God bless you. Chapter 8. It's not about income. It's about assets that generate income. It's no wonder so many people don't understand the value of network marketing. Many of those who are actually involved with it themselves don't fully grasp the value of what they hold in their hands. When people go to hear network marketing presentations, often their main question is, if I join this business, how much income can I earn here? And no surprise, when you listen to people promote their network marketing business, often that's exactly what you will hear them talk about: how much you can earn on a per month basis. The reason people want to know how much they can earn per month is that they are thinking in terms of living in the E quadrant or S quadrant. They are thinking about supplementing or replacing their current E quadrant or S quadrant income. But that's not where the real value of network marketing lies. The problem with earning income is that it's an incredibly limited, linear process. Work an hour, earn $1. Work 2 hours, earn $2. It depends on you, which means you can never stop. As I said before, it's a trap. Most people instinctively sense that, but they assume that the way out of the trap is to earn more income. But earning more income doesn't change the basic fact of being tied to your income. In fact, often earning more income only serves to draw the noose tighter. The B and I quadrants are not about earning more income, they're about owning assets that generate income. The truth about your house. The things that most people think of as assets are not assets at all. In fact, they're liabilities. What defines whether something is an asset or a liability is cash flow, not some abstraction of value. In other words, is it generating money that goes into your pocket, or is it taking money out of your pocket? Everything will either make you money or cost you money. If it doesn't make you money, it's not an asset, it's a liability. For years now, people have been using their houses as ATMs, borrowing against them to scarf up cash they could use to pay off their credit cards, take vacations, buy that SUV, whatever. Maybe you've done this yourself. If you have, the reason you did is that you bought the conventional line that your house was an asset, and not what it really is, a credit card with shingles and a driveway. Let me explain what an asset is. Most people are so confused about this that they have it backward. They run to the dictionary and find that an asset is something that's worth something. Well, maybe. The problem is that tricky word, worth. Let me ask you a question. What is your house worth? Before you answer, let me ask you the same question a different way. How much income does your house bring you, month in and month out? Chances are good your answer is, well, none. In fact, I spend a good chunk of change on it every month, in upkeep, repair, and so forth. Exactly. That's because your house is not an asset, it's a liability. But wait a minute, you say, my house is worth a couple $100,000. Oh, really? When? When you sell it, at some theoretical point in the future. But then where would you live? Would you take the proceeds of your sale and buy another house to live in? Of course. So where's the worth, the actual discretionary income that you can hold in your hands and use to buy or invest in anything you like? It isn't there, there isn't any. Your house is not an asset, it's a hole in the ground into which you pour money. How to know your asset from a hole in the ground? Forget the dictionary definition for a moment. Let's talk about the real world. An asset is something that works for you, so you don't have to work for the rest of your life. My poor dad always said, work for a job. My rich dad said, build assets. The powerful thing about living in the B quadrant is that when you build a business, you are building an asset. In our rich dad business, we have offices throughout the world. Whether I'm working or sleeping or playing golf, the checks come in. That's passive income, residual income. While I won't work hard for a job, I'll work really hard to build an asset, simply because I think like a rich person, not like a working class person. Because owning a business is owning an asset. When you build a network marketing business, you're not only learning critical life skills, you're also building a genuine asset for yourself. In a job, you earn income. In network marketing, instead of earning income, you build an asset, your business, and the asset generates income. I only invest in things that make me money. If it makes me money, it's an asset. If it takes money from me, it's a liability. I have 2 Porsches. They're liabilities. I own them free and clear, but they're not putting money in my pocket, they're taking money out of my pocket. It's not rocket science. For people who understand this, the number 1 asset is usually a business, and the number 2 asset is typically real estate. And even with real estate, you have to understand the difference between cash flow and capital gain. Most people don't understand this distinction. When they invest for capital gain. They'll say, my house went up in value. My car went up in value. That's capital gain, not cash flow. The purpose of owning real estate is to keep it as an asset, not to sell it for a profit. If you buy a piece of real estate for $100,000 and then sell it for $200,000, that's not an asset, you just generated a $100,000 capital gain. You had to shoot the asset to get that money. You've killed the asset. It's like selling your cow for money. I'd rather own the cow and sell the milk. This is the biggest problem with having a job. A job is not an asset. You can't sell it on eBay, you can't rent it out, you can't take dividends from it. Why spend decades, the best years of your life, working away to build something that is not an asset? Or, to put it more accurately, to build someone else's asset, but not your own? Because make no mistake about it, when you work at a job, you are building an asset, it's just not your asset. We've had this idea drilled into us that there is some sort of inherent value in having a good job, but there is absolutely no value in it, zero. And to add insult to injury, the income from your job is then taxed at a higher rate than any other form of income. Talk about the deck being stacked against you. Yet that is the price some people are willing to pay for the safety and security of the E quadrant. Network marketing is not about selling products or earning income. The biggest popular misconception about network marketing is that it's a selling business. But selling is just earning more income. The problem is, if you stop the activity, the income stops. A salesperson has a job. If you work behind the counter at a department store, you're in the E quadrant. If you're in business for yourself, selling insurance or homes or jewelry, you're in the S quadrant. But either way, you have a job, and your job is to sell. That's not going to build your wealth or your freedom. What you want is not another job, you want another address, one over in the B quadrant. John, Robert, that's exactly right. People often assume that being successful in this business means being great at sales. But the point of network marketing is not to become great at selling your particular product or service, because no matter how good you might be at doing that, and let's be honest, if you're like most people, you don't think you are very good at it, there's only so much income you can earn selling. After all, there are so many hours in the day, right? In network marketing, the whole point is not to sell a product but to build a network, an army of people who are all representing that same product or service to share with others. The goal is not for you or any other individual to sell a lot of product, it's for a lot of people to be their own best customer, sell and service a reasonable number of customers, and recruit and show a lot of other people how to do the same thing. And here's the reason you want to build that army of independent representatives. Once you do, you know what you'll have? An asset that generates income for you, passive income. In Chapter 13, I'll ask John to explain more fully why network marketing is not about selling or being a salesperson, and I hope you pay really close attention, because this is a key point, one that most people just don't get. For now, here's the key nail I want to hammer home: network marketing is not about earning more income, it's about building an asset. Actually, it's about building 8 assets, all at the same time. And in the next chapters, we'll take a look at each one in turn. The end of Chapter 8. If you are yet to subscribe to this channel, please do so now. God bless you. Chapter 9. Asset number 1, a real-world business education. I have a confession to make: I am a slow reader. I do read a lot, it's just that I read very slowly, and I often have to read a book 2 or 3 times before I really understand what I'm reading. What's more, I am also a very poor writer. In fact, I failed writing twice in high school. So you want to know something ironic? This C student, who failed his writing courses in school and who to this day is not a very good writer, has had 7 books on the New York Times bestseller list. My point? Good grades aren't everything. Don't get me wrong, I'm not putting down education. I believe in education, in fact, I believe in it with a passion. It's just that the education I believe in most is the education that truly teaches you what you need to learn to be successful in your life. When I recommend that people build their own network marketing business, the number one reason I always give is not for the many excellent, even life-changing products you might represent. And it's not for the money you can earn or the financial freedom you can create. Yes, the products are often excellent. And, yes, I put a great deal of value on its ability to give you a real path to building wealth. but these are not the most important benefits you gain from the experience. The number one value you get from the experience is a real-world business education. 3 kinds of education. If you want to be financially successful, there are 3 different types of education you require: scholastic, professional, and financial education. Scholastic education teaches you how to read, write, and do math. It is a very important education, especially in today's world. Personally, I did not do well with this level of education. As I've said, I was a C student most of my life, simply because I was not that interested in what I was being taught. Professional education teaches you how to work for money. In other words, it prepares you for life in the E and S quadrants. During my youth, the smart kids went on to become doctors, lawyers, and accountants. Others went to professional schools that taught them to become medical assistants, plumbers, builders, electricians, and automobile mechanics. I didn't excel here, either. Since I had not done well at scholastic education, I was not encouraged to become a doctor, lawyer, or accountant. Instead, I became a ship's officer and then a helicopter pilot, flying for the Marine Corps in Vietnam. By the time I was 23 years old, I had 2 professions, one as a ship's officer and the other as a pilot, but I never really used either of them to make money. Financial education is where you learn to have money work for you rather than to have you work for money. You might think you'd get a financial education in business school, but by and large, that's not what happens. What business schools generally do is take the smartest kids and train them to be business executives for the rich. In other words, they train their students for life in the upper echelon of the E quadrant, but it's still the E quadrant. After I returned from Vietnam, I considered going back to school to get my MBA, but my rich dad talked me out of it. He said, if you get an MBA from a traditional school, you are being trained to be an employee of the rich. If you want to be rich yourself, you don't need more scholastic education, you need a real-world financial education. The important skills. Being an entrepreneur and building a B quadrant business is not easy. In fact, I believe building a B quadrant business is one of the toughest challenges a person can take on. The reason there are so many more people in the E and S quadrants is that those quadrants are less demanding than the B quadrant. If it were easy, everyone would be doing it. If you are going to be successful in business, there are technical skills you need to learn that you probably did not learn in school. For example, the ability to get organized and set your own agenda. This is bigger than it might sound. People who enter the arena of network marketing sometimes experience a type of culture shock, because they are used to being told what to do. You may work very hard in the E quadrant, yet have absolutely no experience at setting goals, organizing a plan of action, setting your agenda, managing your time, and executing a clear sequence of productive actions. It's shocking how many people do not have these basic skills. Shocking, but not surprising. After all, in the E quadrant, you really don't need them. But if you're entering the B quadrant, they are not an option. They are every bit as important as skills like knowing how to balance a checkbook, write a financial plan, and read an annual report. Tax advantages and the lesson they teach. People who are brand new to network marketing are often quite surprised to learn about the significant tax advantages that come from having your own home-based business. Most people have at least a vague idea that the rich enjoy all sorts of tax advantages that they themselves do not, but since they have lived their entire lives within the E quadrant, they typically have no concept of what those advantages are or how they actually work. Therefore, people are often shocked to realize that they, too, can enjoy those very same tax advantages and put significant amounts of money in their pockets from the very first day of their new businesses. With recent changes in tax policies and more insurance programs tailored for small businesses and the self-employed, it's easier than ever before to create your own benefits package that rivals and even surpasses anything the standard big corporation could offer. By starting a network marketing business in your spare time and keeping your regular job, you begin to gain the tax advantages of the rich. A person with a part-time business can take more tax deductions than employees can. The above are just some examples of things you already spend money on that may become legitimate tax deductions once you begin your own home-based network marketing business. Note, this list is given here for illustration purposes only. For tax advice on your own situation, you should consult your tax professional. For example, you may be able to deduct car expenses, gasoline, some meals, and entertainment. Obviously, you need to check with a CPA for exact rulings on your situation. And when you do, you'll find that the cost of that visit to your CPA is tax deductible, too. In other words, the government will actually give you a tax break for the cost of getting professional advice on how to pay the government less in taxes. My point in going into all this is not only to let you know about this significant economic leverage that comes on day one of your new business from tax savings. One of the beauties of network marketing is that it pulls away the veil of mystery and starts to show you life in the B quadrant. More than that, I wanted to drive home this point. Most people have no clue what it's like to be in the B quadrant. The reason most people are shocked when they learn about the tax advantages available here is that, for the great majority of people, the B quadrant might as well be the lost continent of Atlantis. One of the beauties of network marketing is that it pulls away the veil of mystery and starts to show you life in the B quadrant. Welcome to your real-world business education. Life skills. When it comes to creating business success, it's not a simple matter of technical skills. Even more important are the life skills it takes to successfully negotiate the B quadrant. The key to long-term success in life is your education and skills, your life experiences, and most of all, your personal character. For example, I had to learn how to overcome my self-doubt, shyness, and fear of rejection. Another personal development skill I had to learn was how to pick myself up after I failed and keep going. These are the personal traits a person must develop if they are to be successful in a B quadrant business, regardless whether it is a network marketing business, a franchise, or an entrepreneurial startup. If you don't learn these things in school, and you don't learn them in the workplace, and you were not taught them in your home while growing up, where are you going to learn them? Where on earth will you find a business that will invest the time in your education and personal development as well as help you actually build your business? In network marketing, that's where. John, it's interesting, Robert, that you always cite business education as the number one benefit you see in the business, and I think there's a lot of merit to that point. Often, people learn skills and develop aspects of themselves through their experience in network marketing that they might otherwise never learn. Network marketing teaches people how to overcome their fears, how to communicate, how to understand the psychology of other people saying no to them, and how to maintain persistence in the face of rejection and other real-world challenges. Good network marketing companies provide a solid program of training in all these areas. And I agree, this kind of education is absolutely priceless. In fact, you'd be hard-pressed to find a situation anywhere else where you could pay good money to gain all this training, let alone a situation where they pay you to learn it. We have a common expression in network marketing, that it's a business where you earn while you learn. It's a great saying, because it underlines this key point about the business: you learn to do it by doing it, not by sitting in a classroom for years hearing someone talk about doing it. In network marketing, the training is more than theory, it's experiential. And regardless of whether or not you reach the top of the specific program you're in or make a great deal of money, the training itself is of tremendous value for the rest of your life. Many people actually end up in other businesses where they become very successful due to the business training and experience they first received in their network marketing experience. And that's the real point here, and the biggest reason that I've been recommending this business to people for a decade. When you join a good network marketing company, they don't just give you a track to run on, they also support you in developing the skills and qualities you need to succeed. Network marketing is a real-world business school for people who want to learn the real-world skills of an entrepreneur, rather than the skills of an employee. Network marketing is a real-world business school for people who want to learn the real-world skills of an entrepreneur, rather than the skills of an employee. The end of Chapter 9. If you are yet to subscribe to this channel, please do so now. God bless you. Chapter 10. Asset number 2, a profitable path of personal development. I know what you're probably saying. Kiyosaki, have you gone soft? What's all this touchy-feely talk about a path of personal development? I don't need an encounter group, I need to make ends meet. I want to build wealth, not sincumbia. Not so fast. I haven't gone soft on you, I'm just being realistic. Becoming rich is not about putting your lucky 50-cent piece into the right slot machine. And you are not simply looking at a new way to earn a supplemental income. You are actually making a change in your core values. It's not just about changing what you do, in a very real sense, it's about changing who you are. My friend Donald Trump is worth billions today, but there was a time when he lost it all during a real estate crash. He talks about the experience of being $9.2 billion in debt. I passed a beggar on the street and realized he was worth $9.2 billion more than I was. Yet, before long, Donald was back on top again. Why? Because of who he is, or more accurately, who he had become. I had a similar experience. By age 30, I was a millionaire. 2 years later, my company had gone broke. Losing a business was not a pleasant experience, but it was a great education. I learned a lot in those few years, a lot about business, but even more about myself. After the crash, Rich Dad told me, money and success make you arrogant and stupid. Now, with some poverty and humility behind you, you can become a student again. He was right. The lessons I learned from the experience proved over time to be priceless. Building and then losing a worldwide business provided me with the real-world education that ultimately made me rich. Even more important, it was an education that set me free. And the most important things I learned in the course of that education were not about business or money, they were about me. Let me ask John a question about this, and if his answer is what I think it's going to be, you'll see what I mean. Robert, John, obviously not everyone who goes into network marketing has the same level of success. In your experience, what is the number one reason that some people fail to reach the level of success they hoped for in network marketing? John, success is defined differently by different people. What may be important for one person may not be for another. Some people are satisfied with supplementing their current level of income, while others are truly looking for a business opportunity that can be transforming, in terms of income potential and lifestyle goals. You have to define failure in a very broad sense. Being able to earn $1,000 a month may be seen as failure for the person who was attempting to build a significant business, but great success for the mother whose goal was to significantly supplement the household income. Regardless of the goal, we know that those who persist in network marketing tend to get only better and better. In fact, the only way I believe people fail is to quit. But this needs a little bit more detail to be fully accurate. It's not simply a matter of whether or not one quits the company, that is, resigns one's distributorship and formally declares, "I'm out." The issue here is not about quitting the business, it's about quitting on yourself. That's exactly what I thought. It goes back to what I said at the very beginning of this book. This isn't just about changing the type of business you're working with, it's also about changing you. I can show you the perfect business, but for your business to grow, you will have to grow as well. The winner in you and the loser in you. There are two words for what John just described. One is quitter, the other is a loser. Each of us has a winner and a loser inside of us. That includes me, too. There's a winner in me and a loser in me, and they often compete for airtime. The reason most people just get by instead of truly succeeding in life is that they let the loser inside them dominate. I don't. I insist that the winner win out. How do you know when the loser is speaking up? "Oh, I can't afford that. Oh, That's too risky. Or, what if I fail? The winner is up for the risk, but the loser thinks only of safety and security. It's ironic. The loser yaps and squawks about safety and security and ends up stuck in a career and a life that is never truly safe or secure. What's safe about working a 40-hour-a-week job for a corporation that will probably lay you off within the next few years? Or sticking your meager earnings into a 401k that gets sucked up by a mutual fund that tanks, or into a fund managed by a financial advisor who turns out to be another Bernie Madoff? Inside each of us is the winner and the loser, the rich guy and the poor guy, the one who works out and the one who sits on the couch. That's the battle. The reason you want to join a network marketing company is that they will support the rich person inside of you to stand up and be counted. Your loser friends want you to stay on the couch. They want you to play it safe and work your 40 hours, because if you do, then you won't be challenging them to do anything different. Not your network marketing sponsor. Your network marketing team wants to see you excel, to step beyond what you're used to doing, to go beyond your history and become the more exceptional, extraordinary you, instead of remaining the ordinary you. It's easy to say, I can't afford that, or, it's just too expensive, or, I just want my benefits, I don't want to have to work that hard or take those risks. That's the loser speaking. And you shouldn't feel bad about that. We've all got one. I have one in me, and lots of times he gets the upper hand at least for a short time. Every morning, I make that choice, who got up this morning, the rich me or the poor me? The winner or the loser? That's our battle. In fact, we each have an entire cast of characters inside us, a whole spectrum of who we could potentially turn out to be. I wanted the person who was happily married, who made a contribution to the planet, and who was spiritually inclined for freedom. Every time we let our fears, our doubts, or our low self-esteem win, the loser emerges and holds sway. Learning to share your vision and tell a powerful, persuasive story is learning how to override the loser inside you and allowing the winner to rise to the surface. Learning how to tell a powerful story is learning how to show up as the winner you are. Most people don't have the ability to keep going, to handle disappointment and never lose sight of the vision of where they're going. They simply haven't been trained in that skill. But that's critically important. That's the real skill of someone who has mastered the B quadrant. That is thinking like an entrepreneur, and that's the single most important attribute you can learn from building your own network marketing business. It took me 2 full years, when I first went to work for Xerox Corporation, to begin stepping into my power and letting the winner in me emerge. I was on the brink of being fired at the end of those 2 years, but fortunately for me, that's when my self-confidence finally began to grow. My sales improved, and within another 2 years, I was consistently number 1 or number 2 in my office. Increasing my self-esteem was more important than my paycheck. Rebuilding my self-confidence and my self-esteem has been priceless. And it has helped me earn millions of dollars. For that, I will always be grateful to the Xerox Corporation and the staff that taught me how to overcome my demons, doubts, and fears. Today, I strongly recommend network marketing because the industry offers the same opportunity to strengthen and rebuild your self-confidence that the Xerox Corporation offered me. Network marketing gives you the opportunity to face your fears, deal with them, overcome them, and bring out the winner that you have living inside you. And make no mistake about it, just because you join a network marketing company and start building your business doesn't mean you have left the loser behind. It will take years to build up your genuine freedom. We talk a lot about freedom in this country. But you don't really have freedom until you have financial freedom. And that takes time to create. I was born with nothing, and I made and lost my fortune several times along the way, so I know what it feels like to lose everything. It's easy, in those difficult times, for the loser to take over. There will be times when you will feel tested, when your friends are telling you, "I told you so," and your family members are whispering to you, "Don't you think it'd be better if you just put more energy into your little job and let that network thing go?" I promise you, there will be times when it will be so tempting to let the loser run the show. Don't do it. Win. Flight school. All caterpillars make cocoons before becoming butterflies. Flight school was my cocoon. I entered as a college graduate and exited a pilot ready to go to Vietnam. If I had gone to a civilian flight school, I doubt I would have been ready for war, even though I was a pilot. What we had to learn as military pilots is far different from what civilian pilots have to learn. The skills are different, the intensity of training is different, and the reality of going to war at the end of the training makes things different. It took me nearly 2 years to get through basic flight school in Florida. I received my wings, and then was transferred to advanced flight training at Camp Pendleton, California. The training there escalated in its intensity. At Camp Pendleton, we were trained to fight more than to fly. After we had finished flight school and became pilots, we had 1 year to prepare to go to Vietnam. We flew constantly, often under conditions that tested us mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. About 8 months into the program at Camp Pendleton, something changed inside me. During one training flight, I finally became a pilot who was ready to go to war. Up to that point, I was flying mentally, emotionally, and physically. Some people call it flying mechanically. On that one training mission, I changed spiritually. The mission was so intense and frightening that, suddenly, all my doubts and fears were forced out of the way, and my human spirit took over. Flying had become a part of me. I felt at peace and at home inside the aircraft. The aircraft was part of me. I was ready to go to Vietnam. It was not that I had no fear. I still had the same fears about going to war, the fear of dying or, even worse, of becoming crippled. The difference was that I was now ready to go to war. My confidence in myself was greater than the fears. My process of becoming a business person and investor followed much the same process as becoming a pilot ready to go into battle. It took my failing twice in business before I suddenly found that quality that is often called entrepreneurial spirit. That is the spirit that keeps me on the B and I side of the cash flow quadrant map, no matter how tough things get. I stay on the B and I side rather than slipping back to the safety and comfort of the E and S side. I would say it took me 15 years to gain the confidence to feel comfortable in the B quadrant. You're luckier than I am. You don't need to spend that long or go through the failures and struggles I did. You can get that same kind of life-changing education right here in your own flight school, network marketing. How my business skills changed my life. Now that I've talked about military training and learning to fly under battle conditions in the jungles of Vietnam, I want to tell you one more story about the honing of character, this one not on the battlefield, but in the field of love. If I had not gone through my own intense form of schooling to learn real-world business skills, I doubt I would have been fortunate enough to marry the woman of my dreams. But I did, and I did. When I first met Kim, I thought she was the most beautiful woman in the world. I was speechless and completely terrified at the idea of going up to talk with her. However, my business training had taught me to overcome my fear of failure and rejection, and that training was about to pay off, big time. Instead of hiding in the back of the room and staring at her from afar, which is exactly what I would have done years earlier, I walked boldly forward and said, "Hi." Kim turned and flashed her beautiful smile, and I was in love. She was right out of my dreams. But when I asked her out, she said, no, and earlier Robert Kiyosaki might have slunk away and admitted defeat. But I had been toughened by my business training. I collected my nerve and asked her out again. Again she said, no. Now my self-confidence was bruised and my male ego was fading, but I asked her out once again, and again the answer was no. This went on for 6 months. Each time she said, no, I went into hiding to lick my wounded ego. I was hurting inside. If I had not learned how to overcome my own self-doubts, I could never have kept asking for 6 months, but I did. And finally, one day, she said, yes. We have been together ever since. I tell this story not just because it's a warm and fuzzy story of how Robert and Kim went a-courting. I tell it because it makes a critical point. This is not just about business and money. This is your life we're talking about. How you earn your money and build your career is how you earn your destiny and build your legacy. The end of chapter 10.